You go to 2 Samuel chapter 9, and we're going to read from verse 1. And David said, now he is king. David said, is there yet any that is left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake? Now Jonathan is dead. And you know, when they made this covenant, they pledged to keep each other's family in the covenant. It was going to go beyond them. And in fact, by that pledge, Jonathan once said to David, you will be king, and I will be next to you. That conversation is one of the most touching in the Bible. Here was a man who was supposed to be the next king of Israel. Everything was set for him to be king. But he looks beyond all the natural signs, and he looks at God's mind. And he perceives God's will. And he says to David, you will be king. He even tries to rescue him from his angry father. His father said to him once, I know that you prefer the son of David, the son of Jesse, to yourself. And he wanted to kill him. So now, David says, go back to 2 Samuel chapter 9. And David said, is there yet any that is left of the house of Saul, that I may show him kindness for Jonathan's sake? What kindness? The kindness of the covenant that he had with Jonathan. Covenant kindness. Is there yet any that is left of the house of Saul, that I may show him? And the word that's translated show here, S-H-E-W, is not exactly what you have S-H-O-W in many translations. That's just one of the synonyms. It actually says that I may do him kindness. He's going to demonstrate the kindness. He's going to act it. He's going to do it. That I may do him kindness for Jonathan's sake. Why Jonathan's sake? Again, because they had a covenant. And now he's king. He cannot forget the house of Saul for Jonathan's sake. Verse 2. And there was of the house of Saul a servant whose name was Ziba. And when they had called him unto David, the king said unto him, art thou Ziba? And he said, thy servant is he. And the king said, is there not yet any of the house of Saul, that I may show the kindness of God unto him? I love it. It says, is there not yet any of the house of Saul, that I may show the kindness of God unto him? Why? What does it mean, the kindness of God? Because God's kindness, he calls it covenant kindness. When God wants to show his ultimate kindness to a man, he goes into a covenant with him. So he says, I want to show the kindness of God. The kindness of God has no limits. The kindness of God is the kindness that gives everything that God's got. He shares it. He shares everything. That's the kind. This is huge because David says, isn't there yet anybody in the house of Saul that I may show him the kindness of God? And Ziba said unto the king, Jonathan hath yet a son, which is lame on his feet. Says he has a son, and this guy's lame. So it's a long story how he got lame. But one of the ladies tried to rescue him, and as she tried to flee with him, the kid fell and his limbs were damaged and became lame. All right, look at the next. And the king said unto him, Where is he? And Ziba said unto the king, Behold, he is in the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, in Lodebar. From Lodebar. Look at this. Then King David sent and fetched him out of the house of Machir, the son of Amiel. Said, Go get him. Go get him. It's very interesting. It's interesting what was the meaning of Lodebar. Lodebar meant not a pasture. That means you can't feed your cattle here. No food here. That's where he went to. So they just knew no one's going to be looking for the kid here, and he grew up here. And King David sent and fetched him out of the house of Machir, the son of Amiel, from Lodebar. And then, look at the next verse. Now when Mephibosheth, that's his name, the son of Jonathan, the son of Saul, was come unto David, he fell on his face and did reverence. And David said, Mephibosheth. And he answered, Behold, thy servant. And David said unto him, Fear not, for I will surely show thee kindness for Jonathan thy father's sake, and will restore thee all the land of Saul thy father, and thou shalt eat bread at my table continually. Now he's going to be eating at the king's table. Wow. He suddenly becomes rich, right? And he bowed himself and said, What is thy servant that thou shouldst look upon a dead dog as I am? Then the king called to Ziba, Saul's servant, and said unto him, I have given unto thy master's son all that pertained to Saul and to all his house. Thou therefore and thy sons and thy servants shall till the land for him, and thou shalt bring in the fruits, that thy master's son may have food to eat. But Mephibosheth, thy master's son, shall eat bread always at my table. Now there's a statement that comes next, just so we have something in our minds, because something happens in the future. He says, Now Ziba had 15 sons. Just remember that guy. In the absence of anybody from the house of Saul, Ziba was eating whatever he wanted. He's controlling everything. But he was a servant to Saul. Now he's made himself a master. He's got 15 sons. No counting of the daughters. Maybe twice as many. But now he's got servants as well. And they're all running rampage over Saul's property. And now the king says everything goes to Mephibosheth. Well, this is beautiful. Then said Ziba unto the king, According to all that my lord the king had commanded his servant, so shall thy servant do. As for Mephibosheth, said the king, he shall eat at my table as one of the king's sons. Wow. Not as a guest, as one of the king's sons. That's wonderful. I just wanted you to observe some beautiful things in this story, in how God thinks. How God thinks. In Genesis chapter 12, you go to the Amplified Version, the AMPC, and we're reading from verse number 2. I want you to observe something. It says, and I will make of you a great nation,